Hello and welcome to the video. This is Waller from coolercareers.com. Today we're going to have a look at writing your CV, 3 of the most common mistakes and how you can avoid them. Okay, so let's take a look at mistake number 1, which is sending out the same CV for every job application. So you may be thinking, well, if I'm applying for a lot of different jobs, does this mean I need dozens of CVs? Well, what you actually need to do is to adapt your CV for every job that you apply for. You may be wondering why you need to do this, and the reason quite simply is this: you have only 20 seconds to make an impression. So the first time a recruiter looks at a bunch of CVs, they look at them for 20 seconds each, and in fact some experts think it's less than this, that it's perhaps only 10 seconds. So that's all the time you've got, so it's a maximum of 20 seconds, possibly only 10, to make an impression. So you can see your CV really must stand out. So how on earth do you adapt your CV for every job? Well, it's not as difficult as you might think. So let's take a look. So what you do is create a generic CV. So that's a CV that's in the correct format and with all the relevant information for the type of job that you're applying for. And then you tailor each CV to the individual job. So how do you go about doing that? Okay, well, what you do is you highlight the keywords. And the way to do this is to read the job description really, really carefully. Now, you may not have a job description. Perhaps you've only got a job advertisement or some information from the internet, but take whatever information you've got and read it really carefully. And then what you need to do is choose the most important skills, qualifications and experience that the employer is asking for. So these are the ones that this particular employer values most. And you could be applying for several jobs that are very similar, but there might be a slight difference in the most important skills. So this is going to vary according to the employer, and you're going to get this from the job description or the job advertisement. And then you take this information and you target your CV by giving the employer the information that he wants. But obviously you don't tell lies. So the most important information comes near the top of your CV where it's clearly visible. So this would be underneath your contact details. Some of this information might come in your profile or your summary at the beginning, and then if you're using a skills-based CV, the most important skills are going to come close to the top. And remember, you've only got 20 seconds, so you've got to get it right. Okay, so let's move on to mistake number 2. And this is telling the employer how great you are. For example, you might write that you're an excellent communicator or a great team player. So you're probably thinking, yeah, but doesn't the employer want to know that? Well, of course he wants to know it, but just writing the words doesn't mean a thing. Anyone can do that. You've got to prove it. So how on earth do you prove it? Well, the way to do this is to give an example of where, when, and how you actually did something. So for example, you might write something like increased sales by 25% in 3 months at whatever the company was by implementing whatever strategy you used. So an example is the best way to prove that you can do something, and if you can use numbers, as in this case, so much the better. So mistake number 3 is a cover letter which just repeats the information in the CV and is the same for every job. So what you need to do with your cover letter is to say something which will make the employer sit up and take notice. So you could do this, for example, by finding out something that is just really, really important to the company. So have a look at their website, look at the newspapers, see what's going on in the industry at the moment that's important and that you could contribute to. So if you find something that the employer needs and you have the skill to give him what he needs, then that's going to make him notice you, and that's going to make him decide, yes, I really want to interview this person. So in general, your cover letter should expand your CV and give more detail on the key points. And of course, as you know by now, you should write a different cover letter every time.